Greetings, everyone. Thank you for listening. Welcome back. I appreciate each and every one of you. You are essential in my growth. Me doing these videos, I am motivated by your support. I am motivated by your subscribing to my channel. It gives me a reason to really analyze a lot of the topics that I'm discussing. It allows me to go deeper into a lot of the topics that I'm discussing because I want to make sure that I present it as clearly as possible. So I'm doing these videos for you as well as myself and with your motivation. Now, the topic I want to discuss today is called I Don't See People. And it's a generalized statement, but I can go even more general with the statement. Essentially, the Amen, the Creator, the All, whatever you're comfortable with, is all there is. So when you see anything, you're seeing a vibration, a representation of the All. I like to use the term Amen. Just feels good, and it hasn't been corrupted the way I use it. So the Amen is all there is. The more we get into the specific of the thing that we see, the more we get away from the fact that the all is all there all. The all is all there is. The Amen is all there is. And the more we get away from that fact, it's a fact. The more we get away from that fact, the more we struggle with using the power that the Amen gives us, that the Almighty gives us, that the Father gives us. As we perfect this idea, this fact, the more power we have in our life, the less stress we have in our life, and the more happy we are. Now, I started using this technique about maybe 2014, 2015. And what I would always try to do, and I realized that it was happening accidentally. And what I mean by that is I realized that everything that appears to be negative has a good component. The more I practice this technique of seeing the good in everything, the more I was able to realize that what comes to us sometimes is masked and hidden. It's our desire, but our preconceived notions, our sabek mind, our idea of what that thing actually is, we will label events that are actually positive, we'll label them negatively. What I mean by that is essentially that because of past experience, because of culture, because of socialization, because of a lack of awareness, there are certain generalized events that we pretty much consider negative. There are a lot of people that when they come to us with certain attitudes and certain moods, we assume, and especially if what is coming from their mouth is not particularly pleasing, we will tend to label that person or the information that that person is presenting as negative. And we will not make an effort in the face of such a barrage of negativity from someone. We will not make the attempt to say, okay, let me find that gem of positivity in what they're saying. That's the way I approached every issue in law. And every issue that anybody would come to me that at first notion or at first listen had a negative connotation to it, I would always sit back and say, okay, I'm getting what I want. Let me not be blinded by the tone and energy of the message, because we can only get back what we think. What we put into the amen, we get back. So what's coming back to us will be what we want, what we attract. Okay, if that, some people prefer attraction. We attract what we put into the universe, what we put into amen, we get back. And that's absolutely true. So then our job has to be being able to decipher everything that comes back to us. And if it's coming from the amen, it must be something that we want. That's the way amen approaches it. If that's something you think about, if it's in your subconscious mind, it must be something that you want. When we meditate, and we meditate daily, whether we understand it or accept that or not, we're always meditating. Sometimes we meditate on what we want. Sometimes we meditate mostly on what we don't want. And it comes back to us. So something that we've been thinking about, negatively, when it comes back to us, we need to praise and bless that thing. Oh, this is the universe at work. Let me change my thoughts, because this is not something that I would prefer to have. Let me work on my meditation skills. Let me work on my affirmations, because I got a result that, although there's good in it, I would prefer to have something that's more apparently good than having to search for the good that's in it. Okay, I hope I'm making sense. Leave comments if it's not making sense. But when I say I don't see people, I see my thoughts coming back to me. I see my thoughts, I see my meditations, I see my feelings, my anxieties, my wishes coming back to me, and I'm glorious and I'm blessed and I appreciate it. Knowing that I have the power to shape it and guide it and rework it to something that's more apparently good and more in line with what I say I want. So when people come to me, I don't see the people. Events that happen to me, I don't see the people communicating to me the nature of whatever the event is. So our goal is always going to be not to look at the mouth, not to look at the person per se as the initiator of events that we may not desire or do desire. We may look at somebody who's, doing something really, really nice for us as the source of that wonderful thing that they're providing us. They're not. You're getting what you've put into the universe. You're getting what you put into amen. Don't see the person. The person, you can't even, like I wouldn't even use the term the person is the facilitator. Because the facilitator, in my mind, gives me the image of separation. Okay, so you got the amen, and then you got the facilitator. So the amen feeds it to the facilitator, and the facilitator feeds it to you. I don't look at it that way, because looking at it that way separates the facilitator, the person communicating, from the amen. I see it as all one thing. I don't see people. I see amen. And I'm grateful either way, one way or the other. I will not get upset, maybe a little bit in the beginning. And then like a circuit breaker, I'll snap into action. I'll cut that feeling off and bring back that positive thing. So, it does happen. I'm learning, I'm training. But essentially, when somebody's communicating information or some activity or some action that I don't like, I'm training myself and have been working on going after the feeling that this is my thoughts, this is the amen, bringing to me as amen, because you can't separate anything from the amen, including yourself. Right? We're all amen. So it's amen communicating with amen as one, which is what Asar is all about. Asar mind is all is one. No separation. Okay, so then it's our duty to accept that. And I know for a lot of people, depending on your religion or your spirituality, your spiritual mindset, you may be offended by that statement. It may be arrogance to you. It may be blasphemy to you. But I would ask that you go back to your religious source, your religious text. And if your religious text is genuine, then there is no separation between yourself and the great. It may be a perception based on your subject mind that there's a separation, but you can never separate yourself from it. To separate yourself from it means that you're something that God or that the Amen is something separate from you. It's a basic statement. But I've had this talk with clergy members, and in my communication with clergy members, they don't agree with what I'm saying. They do not agree. And in my upbringing, it's also what I'm saying was not accepted. And I won't mention the denomination or religion that I was raised on, but I can clearly tell you that what I'm saying would be blasphemy. But I'll end it here. I don't want to make this video too long. If you'd like more clarity on the statements that I'm making, feel free to leave a comment. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Peace and love.